Good morning. How's everyone?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. This one looks like we're waiting for Rhodas. We'll give her a few minutes here.
Hello, Professor
Hello.
Holiday and Professor Awaad. How are you?
Doing fine, thank you so much.
Doing well. Yeah, thank you. Let me go up here and remove this one. Move the fireflies out of there. Good. All right. So we'll give Rhodas a few minutes. So just working in the background here. Okay. How was everyone's week?
Tough.
Tough?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I can relate to that. You know, I the week before it was really rough. My computer, of course, crashed, and I had a really tough time trying to get that computer up and running. In fact, I discovered that I hadn't moved some of the content to my Google Drive, so some of my content was lost on the other computer. So that was horrible. But
Maybe you need to invest in an external hard disk, one like terabyte or something, and
yes,
set reminders to back up your laptop, because I know it happened before. Yeah, it's not fun at all.
No, it is not. Really. Let's see. Let me go ahead and press what is to join. Okay, I'm going to share my screen here. Okay. Okay, I still have not been able to reach Rhodas. Okay, so I'm gonna just kind of walk through what the here, okay, so is everyone seeing this? Seeing the slides here?
Yes, Professor.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, so the expectation for today would be that you would all do your presentations, and we're going to have 5 to 10 minutes, okay, for everyone. It'll be 5 to 10 minutes. And following your presentation, there'll be a Q&A. So I would expect everyone to have some questions that they would ask about their classmates' presentation. You know, anything, some clarification, to point out some of the things that you found fascinating, things you didn't know before. If you want to offer some constructive feedback, that's good also. We're in a grad class here, so we should be used to some feedback as well. And then Dr. Hanan and I might also add some comments as well, but then you can we'll have a Q&A at the very end as well for everyone who might be wondering how they should proceed after some of the feedback that they've received. You might also want to take some notes as they're presenting. That way it'll be fresh in your mind, and you'll be able to refer to those notes for your questions at the end of those presentations. So hi, Rhodas, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, Professor. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Okay. All right. Well, so are there any questions? That you want me to go over that again? Good. Okay. So I would imagine if each of you took me just with the question and answers in your presentation, we're probably looking at 15 to 20 minutes per person. So that that's going to definitely take up the bulk of the time, and then we'll break after that, and we'll have a break, and then I'll come back with some concluding comments and some other material that we might review and discuss. But today, today is your day. This is your chance to present to Dr. Hanan and I, and to your classmates, your research proposals, and so we're really looking forward to some great presentations here. Okay, so yes, any questions?
No, sorry, Professor. I'm just a few minutes late.
Oh, okay. Okay, let me review this again. So I don't know why I thought you were already logged on. So I remember I was looking at Sarah. But so what we're going to do here is we'll have each of you, take 5 to 10 minutes for your presentation, and then we'll have a Q&A. After that, however long that takes, we'll have people will respond to your presentations, and then you can respond to their questions. And then once you're all done there, and then we'll go ahead and take a break, and then we'll come back and we'll review some of the things that have happened in that previous hour, and we'll talk about how the course is going to look going forward, some of the content that you would need to be reviewing and to be prepared for next week's lecture. Okay, next week will be just a regular lecture.
Sure, Professor. Thank you for sharing. Yes. So are we going in the sequence which is on your screen, or are we?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, that's correct. Okay. Let's do some objections to that. Anyone object to this order? You're fine with that? Okay. Okay, good. All right. So if there's no other,
Professor?
yes. Yes.
So I'm trying to open my computer, try and connect with internet. So
Okay.
can I be second?
Yes. Mansoor, that's okay with you. I'm going to move you to first. Is that correct? Okay.
Thank
No
you.
problem, Professor.
Okay. Good. Very good. All right. We'll go ahead and we'll do that. Very good. Okay. Very good. Good. All right. Mansoor, whenever you're ready, you can go ahead and you can present.
Sure, Professor. Do I have to upload the share my screen?
That would be great if you could do that. If I would stop sharing mine so you can share yours. Are you prepared to do that?
Yes, Professor.
Okay, good. Okay. All right.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, hello everyone again, and thank you for giving me this great learning opportunity once again. So the title of my research is assessing the integration of green procurement practices in humanitarian operations within Afghanistan, and examination of the impact of NGO and government policies. I would like to thank Professor Awaad for helping me to come up with this topic. So I will start with the literature review. So in the literature review, we want to enlighten the readers about the background information of the research topic. That's why I have provided specific information or little information to understand the topic better. So green procurement, also known as sustainable procurement, refers to the process of purchasing goods, services, and works that have reduced environmental impact throughout their life cycle. And I have outlined six components, and which are environmental considerations, life cycle assessment, compliance with standards, social and ethical considerations, waste reduction and circular economy, engagement with suppliers as well. And also we want to add previous studies or research that have been conducted on this specific topic in the literature review part. And also we want to add key findings, challenges, and success stories of the same topic, but it can be in different regions to create a compare and contrast view. Next, I will also include the NGO and government policies because this is a part of the research title. And in this part, I want to explore and analyze if there's any green procurement policies existed in the country, and if yes, is it being implemented or not. I'll also work to identify what are the challenges and opportunities in implementing the green procurement policies. So next we will have the research methodology and how we are going to do our research. We will have the research design. In the research design, we want to outline the overall plan and structure of the study. We must choose the type of data that we want to collect. So whether they are quantitative data or qualitative data, or it can be both. And I believe that I will need both of these types of data to deliver and to deliver the information precisely. I will also use the stratified random sampling in the sampling and design stage to classify the population into subgroups, such as NGOs, government agencies, and suppliers, and also other stakeholders. In the data analysis stage, I believe that I will be using surveys and the data collection, I will use the surveys and interviews to collect information, and I will use the statistical and thematic analysis to analyze those data that I have received. In the measurement stage, I will be using variables that are relevant to the research question or title. So the key variables, for example, will be the level of adherence to green procurement practices at the moment. Also, if their operations align with the environmental sustainability policies in the country, and also if their operations are efficient or not. And I believe that it's important to note that we need to be aware of the ethical considerations in this stage to ensure the confidentiality of information and obtain informed consent from interviewers and ensure voluntary participation, and also adhere to ethical guidelines for the responsible use of data. Thank you. That's it from my side.
Excellent. Good job. Very, very good. Thank you, Mansoor. Okay, well, let's let me go ahead and go back to our presentation here. I'll share my screen. And so
and also please let me know if you have any questions.
Yes.
And also recommendations, Dr. Rex. How can we improve the research design better? Can we hone this more?
Okay, I like that. As I was sitting there and I was listening, I think it's an excellent research project. Tell me again what your argument, your problem statement might be, Mansoor, for this research. So what would be your research question in this study? Again, just
Excuse me, Professor, can you give me a couple of minutes? Because I have not included the research questions to this, but I have noted it down somewhere. I will find it, let you know.
Okay, that's fine. So while you're looking for that, also I just wanted to reiterate this to Rodas and Samuel as well, is that so we want to make sure that as we are doing our research, that the research question is driving the research. That you want to discover the something, and so that's I saw that in your presentation, so I think you're probably just looking for the actual formal, format of the question. But I thought it was very, very good. Anyone else have any questions about that? Did it bring up any questions?
I have the questions ready, Professor. Sorry.
Please. Okay. Go ahead and share, Mansoor. Yes. You can share those now, Mansoor.
Okay, thank you. So I have three questions with me. First, what are the existing green procurement policies of NGOs and the government in Afghanistan? And how aware and compliant are humanitarian organizations in Afghanistan with green procurement practices? Are they really aligned, the operations align with the green procurement policies or practices? And also, what is the impact of green procurement on environmental sustainability and operational efficiency in humanitarian operations, specifically in Afghanistan?
Very good. Excellent. Yep. Very good. That's very good. So, Rodas, do you have any questions for Mansoor? Any feedback for him?
No questions, Professor.
Okay, Samya?
No, Professor, I think you covered my question. My question was same, that what is the problem area or a research question is, which I think I was missing in the slides Mansoor was sharing. So thank you for covering that. No other questions. Thank you.
Okay. And Dr. Awaad?
Yes, I would like to, not a question, but maybe a warning that I feel the scope is too wide, especially after including the processes or the operations of procurement. So I'm just worried a little bit about the scope and how it might be widened. So maybe we can consider, decreasing it a little bit, and you can even have one of these questions, especially the last one, for maybe if you apply for a ZBA or PhD. What do you think, Dr. Rix?
I think that's a very good observation. Mansoor, would you do me a favor? Put your presentation up again, please. Go ahead. I unshared my screen so that you can do that.
Sure, Professor.
Okay. Thank you.
Just a second.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay, and then go ahead and get that right there. That there. All right. So, yes, that is on procurement. Okay, let's hold it right there. If you can just hold it there, that'd be great. So, Professor Awaad, what do you feel should probably be the focus? And I agree. Do you understand what Professor Awaad is saying, Mansoor?
Yes. She mentioned about the scope of the research topic.
Okay.
Also,
okay.
Yeah.
Do you know why? So the concern is that in order to do research as vast as this one, you might need more time than you would have in this program to do that. Of course, not in this semester, but you'll be finishing this in the subsequent semester, your actual research. So if you had to narrow this down, what do you think your focus might be? What of the areas where you're focusing on, basically 2 different areas, what would you think you would like to focus for your master's thesis? What would you put your focus if you had to really narrow the scope?
Professor, I think that it still will be about the green procurement. But yes, if I want to narrow it down, I will use one of these questions that I mentioned to understand that whether the procurement policies on green procurement or or sustainability of procurement in Afghanistan, and what are the impacts? And yes.
Okay. Very good. Okay, good. So, yeah, so I don't know, somebody will be working with Professor Awaad on that to just kind of get it narrowed down to that, so you can just kind of focus on that and make sure when you're presenting not presenting, but when you submit your final research proposal, be sure you include those research questions, okay? And there, I think that would be good. Okay. Very good. Very good. Any questions, Rhodas, Samia? Anything else you'd like to add?
No, Professor, I think we are good. And I think, yes, I agree with Professor Awaad there that, it could be a very wide research topic, and keeping it focused on a few problem areas would be helpful. Otherwise, it would be a huge content for everybody to review, and even it would be not possible to really go to that level of research. So yeah, I agree that it needs to be just few problem areas to be focused on.
Very good. Very good. Okay. So let's see here. You're talking about your literature review. What are some of the other resources that you might use in your study, Mansoor? Are there individuals? Would you be? What would be your research method, and what kind of what instruments would you consider using? Would it be a survey, or how would you go about that?
Sorry, Professor, I didn't really get you.
Okay, so what I was asking is, in the research methods, how are you going to conduct your research other than gathering this data and by observation? Are you going to also interview some individuals? Are you going to have surveys?
Yes, Professor. I've mentioned in the slides the survey and interview, but yes, I have forgotten to mention the using internet websites to gather information.
Okay.
That could also be a source. Yes, I will have access to procurement professionals and NGOs to sit down and discuss these topics.
Okay. Could you go to the slide where you talk about the interviews again?
Yes. And the data collection part, surveys and interviews.
Very good. Very good. Thank you. Okay, so Rhodas and Sami, what do you think about this format? Did it give you any ideas?
So for me, I think when it's my turn, I'm going to share, but I would, break it down into different slides. That's what I did basically. And now coming to the data collection, surveys and interviews, I think not a question, but maybe a suggestion that yes, as Mansoor is already planning to gather the surveys and interviews which are available online on some network platforms. He can definitely use that. There are blogs, and within blogs there are interviews of some officials who are focused on those procurement problems. So maybe those can be used. Probably I'm going to do the similar approach, because even though I'm from IT, I wouldn't go ahead and talk to different officials and take their time. Rather, I would use my previous experience and interviews I had with them before, and then what is available on the internet, and would use that rather. So yeah, I think he's going in the right direction.
Okay, thank you for that feedback. Rhoda, what stood out for you in Mansoor's presentation? Anything he's doing anything differently? And of course, we're going to see yours in a minute, but did it give you any ideas? What came to mind?
What came to mind is when I was doing my presentation, I totally did it in a different way, which we'll see in a couple of minutes. But I like how he went through each topic proposal for his study, for his research. So, well, I think I'll include what he did as well. So on my part, I just took ideas from what I learned. I stated my problem statement and so on. So maybe his approach would have been good to include mine as well. So that's what I learned.
Okay, very good. All right.
I want to add.
Yes.
I want to add something here very important for a postgraduate thesis. You need to include primary resources as well as secondary resources. Primary resources like interviews that you will do yourself. And secondary resources could be documents, blogs, some research other people did. In undergrad, because they are undergrad students, we ask them to provide just using secondary resources. But for a thesis, you have to include some sort of primary sources that you created or you analyzed yourself. Doing the interviews, it's not a rule, but best practice based on some statistical considerations, that you can have like 30 individuals and you can have semi-structured interviews. So some questions that they will answer, for example, through email. This is considered interview, still considered interview. You can have one-on-one, not necessarily the sample is big, but maybe you start with one-on-one to highlight some recurring themes in the discussions. So maybe 5 interviews with procurement professionals, and you get some themes that will advise the design of a survey. We can also have like a survey using SurveyMonkey, for example, something easy so people will just click. And of course, there are some space for them to provide some statements, some comments. But I think for this type of research, we need to include some primary sources.
Very good. Excellent.
Sure, Professor. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. There you go. I'll take that now. Okay. Any other questions or feedback? Mansoor, did you have anything that you wanted to add after hearing some of the feedback?
No, not really, Professor.
Okay, very good. All right, good. So make sure that you're all taking notes. So some of this feedback is very, very important for you to take in and to consider. But I think that was a very good job, Mansoor. I liked your format. It looks like the way you had it laid out. You took a lot of I think you had a lot of your headers from your actual research proposal. Or maybe you didn't, but it looked. I thought the format was good. So okay. So let's go ahead and I'll share my screen again. All right. So Mansoor, it's done, and Rodas, you're up next. So I will turn the screen over to you now. Okay. And Rodas, are you prepared? You ready to go? Oh, we just lost Rodas.
Yeah, maybe she's having some internet issues.
I think so. And let's give her a couple of minutes here, and then
Sure.
we might have you go next, just in case.
Okay. Yeah, I think she's back.
Okay. Hey, Rodas.
Yes, yes, Professor. I was trying to share my screen. I'm using my phone, so
Oh,
share a screen. Okay.
okay.
Yes, the connection, the internet connection is not good here, so I'm using my phone. Can you see my screen?
We cannot see your screen, but you can walk us through it. You can go ahead and do your presentation verbally, and then we'll ask questions afterwards. We'll listen if.
So, Rodas, I know you shared on the channel. Do you want me to share for you? I mean,
That was let me share it again, maybe.
yeah, try. If it's not
Yes,
possible,
okay.
then let me know. Then I'll share on my screen.
Okay, thank you very much.
Sure.
Let me try and share it now.
Okay. Another recommendation would be if you could upload it to Teams, then I could actually share it as well. But that's another option.
Let me do that for you. Oh, no, she deleted it from there, so I can't. Sorry.
Oh, okay. In this kind of reminds me that what I probably should have done, and this is really on me, I probably should have asked for the presentations beforehand, and I could have included them in the lecture presentation and presented them on the screen. So that would have been the ideal thing to do. It's like, oh, looks like she has it in the chat.
Yeah.
There it is. Okay. And I'm gonna smooth that away. Oh, it didn't work for me. So if you can open that summary, that'd be great. It did not work for me. I just tried that.
I'm trying. Maybe it's on her personal cloud. Let me try.
Okay.
Yeah, that didn't work for me either. It seems like I'm just looking at the URL itself. I think it's on her personal SharePoint cloud. So it wouldn't work for us, yeah.
Okay. Lotus, did you want a few minutes to try to work that out? Do you just want to do it verbally? Because we can all go ahead and have Samia go next, and then that will give you another 10, 15 minutes to try to work that out. Is that okay?
Yes, I don't know why it's not working on my phone.
Okay.
I tried to share it, but it's not working.
Okay. Okay. And maybe in the interim, you can figure out how to maybe email it to me. I'll put my email addresses in the chat, and maybe we can.
I will try to share it via WhatsApp.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yes.
And Rhodas, when you are doing that, rather than sharing the URL, try to share the document itself. Download that document in your machine and then load it on any platform. Then only anybody else can be open. Okay, I can go next, Professor.
Okay.
Would you prefer that, Rhodas? We'll have somebody go next. Is that good? Okay. All right. I'm going to stop sharing my screen there and go ahead, Samia. If you can go next, that would be great.
So let me try. Let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, I see it.
And you are seeing the presentation, right?
I see the presentation, yes.
Okay.
Agile software development in complex environments. Yep.
Sure, thank you. So this is just a very quick PowerPoint I just developed for my proposal, and the topic, as you can see, the title on my screen is Agile Software Development in Complex Environments. What are the challenges for implementing Agile? What are the best practices we can use to really mitigate those challenges? And what could be the path of excellence? So this topic covers, although it seems like it's covering a very vast range of area, but it should still be within the thesis subject and content, that it is definitely really focusing on the agile all over. And the approach I'm taking, I'm just going on my next slide from here. So as you can see, it's more introduction and then identification of that problem area. So in my introduction and identification area, I'm going to define what exactly the agile software development is and what is the significance of it, how it's beneficial for the organizations. Then I'm going to emphasize on the misconceptions. Like, there are so many misconceptions when it comes to agile ceremonies. Many organizations feel and believe that they are agile, but they are misconceptions. They just use the agile ceremonies, or they just use some words from agile, and they start thinking that we are agile, which is not the fact. And over the last 10 years, I would say I've seen many problem areas when it comes to agile. I myself helped organizations go agile with my knowledge, and I did a couple of certifications in agile. One is professional scrum master as well, and that's where I got into the weeds of the problems when it comes to agile implementation, and what challenges these organizations have. They usually say that agile is not working for us. But what is the reasoning of the agile not working for them? They're not working on it. They just give their hands up and say, no, it's not working for us, and this is not something we can implement. And they go other way around, which is a waterfall approach in software development. So I'm going to address all those challenges and how they can really go truly agile. And how they can really alter that approach, tailor their approach, and still stay within their processes, but can still be more agile and take the benefit of agile. Going on my next slide. Then in one section, I'm definitely going to explore those challenges more, and then opportunities of improvement via agile software development. And it will be more like a comprehensive literature review. So what is the scope of those challenges in agile development, and my sources would be more towards I'm going to take more content from scrum.org, because that is the more official and the first pillar of Scrum or Agile. This is my certification is also done from that same organization. So I'm going to use their website. There is lots of blogs, case studies, and resources there. But I will not limit my research there. I'm going to also include good content books over the internet we have, but I'm only going to use the ones which I know are very official and true to my knowledge. I'm only going to use those, and I'm also going to use some form of interviews and I had in past. And since I'm already working currently, also I'm working on IT development applications, I'm going to use those resources. I might will have one-on-one with some resources I have on my projects, but I'll be mainly focusing on really bringing the true knowledge, because just having 101 with some resources on my project would not be very helpful in emphasizing the problem and the solution of it. Because in my thesis, I'm not just talking about the problem and challenges and best practice, but I'm also talking about the best practices and how can they truly benefit from Agile. Going on my next slide. I'm going to use the mixed method approach, qualitative and quantitative both. And what are the rationales when it comes to this mixed method design, like how I can really capture those qualitative experiences vs quantitative. And then it's more focusing towards the data, and then a specific design that if the case study approach is really providing, if there is a case study and it's providing the in-depth insights on my topic, and also helping in the not just defining the challenge, but also providing information that what could be the best practice, how we can really resolve this problem. Research methods, as I mentioned, I'll be using some case analysis, interviews for sure, as I'm already on the IT projects. And also I'll use my past experiences because this is a topic I've been researching from long back. As when I did my certification, I was trying to know why many organizations are failed being agile. So I have that historic data. I'll be using that, and then I'll be using the current also. I'll be having some interviews, but pardon me here, the problem becomes that, in many organizations, people really don't have that knowledge. So if I say that I'm going to interview my project manager, my project manager would not have that much in-depth knowledge as I have when it comes to agile, because he or she might not be certified in there. So they might not be able to help, but I can still take some information from them that, how they feel that if we go agile and if we implement agile, how they feel that it's going to help our project and organization. So that kind of interview analysis I can do with my project managers or other resources on the projects. Then I'm definitely going to try to effectively research my question and then provide the content accordingly, and also try to mitigate that issue in my thesis. That it's really helpful when somebody is reading it, they can really feel that, okay, we have a problem, but we also have a solution to mitigate it. Moving to my next slide. I'm also going to, because coming from the IT and then coming from, it becomes very crucial to secure the data, because that's really important when it comes to if I'm studying a particular agile practitioners or project teams, whatever information I'm going to input in my thesis, I'm not going to reveal their names or their information, but I will still try to effectively provide the information which I gathered from them. I'm the sampling, the representation, the information I'm capturing there, I'm trying to have some kind of example, or I would be hiding there. For example, if there is a particular organization, I would say ABC organization have this kind of process, and they can implement this, so that it's not finger pointing on an organization, yet I am trying to identify the problem and how they can really mitigate those agile implementation issues. I'm going to also explain the entire process and then justify my explanation. Also, again, the ethical considerations that, I'm not going to reveal any names. I'm going to also protect human subjects, no names in my thesis. So I'll keep that in mind as I am writing. My analysis plan and then data preparation, I already started capturing, getting and pulling data from scrum.org, various studies, blogs, books. And as I mentioned, I'm also going to use interviews, surveys, some from the past, historic ones, and some fresh ones. Also, I'll be using the qualitative and quantitative analysis techniques, and will try to ensure that it's a robust and very analytical approach, and I am identifying the issue and then also mitigating those issues in my thesis. So I think that's pretty much it about my thesis, and I'm opening the floor for any questions or suggestions or anything. Please go ahead.
Okay, very good. If you could just leave your presentation open. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, very good. All right. I wanted to ask Professor Awaad, as far as the scope in this particular thesis, what are your opinions about the scope that the Samia is attempting here?
Well, I have some comments here because I'm very involved with the PMI, and in the last few years, the PMI came up with the concept and a whole suite of tools called the disciplined agile, because agile is not one methodology. Actually, it's different methodologies. For example, we have the crystal, we have DSDM, so dynamic systems development method. We have Scrum, of course, we have Kanban, and we have hybrid Scrum Ban. We have extreme programming. We have feature-driven development, still agile. We have test-driven development, still also agile. So agile is not, the word agile is a big umbrella that includes different methods. And in addition to these methods, also the hybrid combination of these methods. So some organizations choose two methods, for example, and they do it together. So the PMI had a big ambitious project, and they issued disciplined agile, and they have a very comprehensive tool that teams can actually assess so many dimensions. For example, readiness of the organization, the enterprise architecture, people, the asset management, change management and transformation. What else come to my mind? Governance, the governance framework at different levels. And they use this tool. So we, after using this tool, we can say, okay, one method might not be sufficient based on the specifics of this organization. We might choose Scrum Ban, for example, or maybe we can mix Scrum and EVO. It's okay, what's the abbreviation? Evolutionary value delivery. So I would encourage you not only to use the Scrum and consider it the only official organization or professional organization in this field, because Agile actually is a big umbrella that have other methods, and all of these methods are actually Agile. So the concept Agile is the iterative life cycle. This is the core, at the core, and there are several methods and frameworks that are based on that umbrella, Agile. The PMI also have the ACP, so Agile Certified Professional. And there is also the guidebook, and as I know that you are a member there, so maybe you can download that guidebook or the BIM book, not the BIM book. It's the body of knowledge in the Agile, and they explain the concepts in a bigger term. What else? Also, the Agile organization or professional organization themselves, those who issued the Agile Manifesto 20 years ago, because right now we have the Agile framework, delivery framework in the market for more than 2 decades, actually. So don't dismiss the other professional
Professor,
organizations.
If you don't mind, I want to address your first comment before it's like really, we have so much. So When I'm saying agile scrum, I am really focusing on the agile scrum in the software development. I know agile can have it is an umbrella for sure, but we also need to understand that agile scrum is the historic one, and I'm only focusing on the one which we had from the beginning. When you were saying agile
So
manifest,
maybe
yes,
maybe
agile
you need,
manifesto is also, sorry, it's also included in my thesis, and Professor Rex already reviewed that. It's there, and I'm going to keep defining that. So agile is, yes, is, I agree, it's one umbrella, and within that there are tailored approach for various, there are, they kept bringing them different mythologies, but the agile scrum is the main historic ones, and my focus is only agile scrum. But I'm also going to, because agile manifesto is not separate, it is the part of agile, and it's going to be there in my thesis. I will be using that historic content which we have in scrum.org, and we have books written on it from various authors. So I'm going to include all that good information in my thesis. But my focus is really the IT development. And when you said Dynamics Agile, Dynamics is a application. Dynamics 365 is an application, and
no. I'm
can
talking about the DSDM. It's a software development method.
So no, my focus, because I am in IT, and I am using my projects is mainly using the Scrum, the Scrum, and yes, Kanban is there, but Kanban is mainly used for the IT leaders to really see the progress of the Scrum projects, how agile
Okay,
projects.
this is the way you apply it. Actually, Kanban can be implemented at all levels. Even the development team themselves can use Kanban. That's
But
why
my
we have a hybrid called Scrum Ban. So it's okay. I'm not arguing. Of course, Dr. Rixa can provide more guidance, but the title, maybe you need to add Scrum somewhere in the mix of the title. You will make it very clear that I'm focusing only on the Scrum framework. I'm not focusing on other. If you are using, for example, Kanban under the umbrella of Scrum, you are using a hybrid methodology, and actually that's very common to mix several elements of frameworks and methodologies, again based on a thorough analysis of the enterprise, the level of agility in the enterprise. Some enterprise have agile business enterprise, some have just for the teams or specific projects, some other have like the whole enterprise architecture is actually agile. So maybe because you are focusing on Scrum, so maybe through the word Scrum in the mix, so you will make that clear connection that I'm focusing on the Scrum framework.
So no, Professor, with
Yeah.
all respect, actually, when it comes to the software development, it's all Scrum, because because I'm the
No, that's a
person who's
very
working on
generalized
the.
statement. No, it's
Yeah,
not
it is
all.
agile. It is Scrum. It is Scrum, and it is called agile software development. I mean,
Okay, yeah.
I have not seen in any of my projects that we are particularly calling it. I mean, yes, we call it Scrum, but you always call it agile. But I can just, for the, if that makes it more clear, I'll definitely add in the title. But as I move forward, let me share my second slide again. Maybe that will clarify that I do have Scrum written in my thesis. Maybe not here in my presentation, but I definitely have it because Agile Scrum is the one basically which, when it comes to software development, we are not, mostly 99%, I would say, we're not using the Kanban. It's mostly Scrum used. And then the issues which comes is all because of the misconceptions and And when we are broadening the topic, that's why, when we are broadening agile and thinking about various methods and then combining it also, it also confuses people. And that's why, all those challenges comes into picture. So I'm going to really address that also in my thesis, and what are the gaps, basically, that these are the gaps that agile is being really, there are so many misconceptions that it can be done in any other way, but in IT development, that's the only path forward. And that's why, I plan to write on this. So I respect all your comments and suggestions, and I'll make sure that I'm using Scrum specifically in my title also, to not to bring any confusion there.
Okay. Good.
Okay. Professor Awaad, did you have any other comments you wanted to make?
No.
Okay. Very good. Okay, so we're more than an hour in. We could break now and then come back and give Mansoor and Rodas a chance to respond with their questions, or we could move forward with the questions and then break before Rodas does her presentation. What is the preference for the class?
Let's have a break.
Okay. We'll do a break now then. Very good. So let's go ahead and break, and then we will come back. We'll conclude with Q&A from Samya's presentation, and then we will proceed with Rodas' presentation. Okay?
Sure, Professor. Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, excellent. We will see everyone back here at 10:00. Let's call it 10:07. Okay. Okay. Hello, everyone. Is everyone back yet? Here we. Okay. Very good. Okay, Samya, you're here. Mansoor, Rodas.
I'm here, Professor.
Yes, sir.
Okay, excellent. All right. Okay, is everyone seeing the presentations, Rodas' presentation?
I can see it, Professor.
Okay.
Yes,
good.
Professor. Yes.
All right. Well, I'm going to be. I'll be the one that will move through the presentation for Rodas, and she will give me a cue when to move to the next slide. So, whenever you're ready, Rodas, you're on.
Okay, Professor, thank you very much. So my title is Identification of Factors Influencing Honey Export. So it's going to be a value chain analysis. In the case of Addis Ababa, Addis Ababa is the capital city of Ethiopia. So we can go to the next slide. Okay. So I think some of the futures are off on your PowerPoint, I think.
Oh, okay. I'm
yes.
sorry.
It's
Hold on.
okay. It's okay.
Okay.
The colors are a bit different, the title. Okay, so just to give you a bit of a background and how I came through the problem. Ethiopia is a major honey producer in Africa. Actually, the first, which covers 23.5% of Africa's share and 2.75% globally. So we can see from the first graph, despite the high production we have, only 11% of the honey is exported annually. So we have around 43,000 metric tons of honey production. And out of that, 11% of it is being exported. So around 89%, which is 38 metric tons, is not being exported. So it's being consumed. Okay, and out of that 83,000, which is the total production, 10% is household consumption. So the beekeepers themselves use it. And out of the rest, 90%, 80% is used for Taj brewery. So Taj is commonly known in our country. It's a local, you can say it's wine, but produced from honey. So as you can see, we're only exporting 11%, and by doing that, we're already the first in Africa. But I believe we can do more because Ethiopia has a variety. I think around 10 million colonies, honeybee colonies. So we can go to the next slide, Professor.
Okay.
Okay, so as I've mentioned, Ethiopia's capital, Addis Ababa, is a major hub for honey export sector. So you can say major of almost all of the exporters are found in Addis Ababa. But the production is locally produced as it is the city. So my problem statement is let me mention it. This research aims to enhance Ethiopia's export potential by identifying and addressing barriers to honey export in Addis Ababa, which is a central hub for exports. Through a comprehensive value chain analysis, key factors impacting export will be identified, analyzed, and prioritized. After the problem statement, my research objectives are I have three research objectives. The first one is identify the key factors influencing the performance of honey export value chain, which is key factor identification. I'm sorry. The second one should have been the title, analyze the impact of each factor. It seems that it is not edited. And the third is prioritize the key factors. So first, identify the key factors influencing the performance of honey export value chain. And then I analyze the impact of each factor on honey export performance. And then I prioritize the key factors based on their impact and feasibility for intervention. So the outcome of this research will be beneficial for policymakers, industry stakeholders, and researchers to develop focused interventions and policies that will encourage long-term growth in the honey export industry in Addis Ababa. We can go to the next slide, Professor.
Okay.
Okay, so this research will employ a mixed method approach. So we can go through each of the methodology. There's no background sound, right, Professor? Is there some sound that's bothering?
There shouldn't be any background sound. No, I don't.
Okay. Okay, from my side, if there's any sound that's bothering. Okay, so when we go to the methodology, we can start with the design. So as I mentioned, I'll be using a mixed method approach, which is a qualitative and quantitative. So for the qualitative, interviews with key stakeholders, and for the qualitative survey to gain a comprehensive understanding of the factors affecting honey export. So for the sample and procedure, qualitative interviews will target honey producers, exporters, and association members. So there are association members as well that are actually dominating this export value chain. And for the sampling method, I'll be using stratified sampling method to ensure the representation of all stakeholders. So for the measurement, I'll be using semi-structured interviews to collect data from stakeholders. the perception they have, the challenge and potential solutions they have. So as the professor mentioned earlier, I'll also use primary data and secondary data. So for the primary data, I'll collect data from the stakeholders. For the secondary data, I'll use the Ethiopian Center of Statistical Data and Ethiopian Commodity Exchange organizational data. These are yearly publishable documents which are published by the government and which are used by various NGOs as well. So these are what I will use. For the analysis plan, thematic analysis will be used to analyze the qualitative interview data. So on this side, I might change some part of the analysis method, but for now, I'm going with thematic analysis for the qualitative data, and for the statistical, for the quantitative data, I'll be using analysis methods using maybe a regression, and yeah, maybe also I'll use simple analytical tools like Stata and Excel. I think this is it from my side, but maybe I have mentioned for research limitation. So for the research limitation part, there's a potential for self-reporting bias in the survey data that I will be collecting, and possibility of missing important factors due to focus on specific stakeholders. These are the limitations that might occur, but I'm planning to mitigate these by careful data collection procedures, triangulation of the data I collect, and an in-depth analysis. And for the timeline and resources, of course, a detailed timeline. I will draft a detailed timeline and resource plan to ensure the project's feasibility. And maybe one point I missed, I think it's the research ethics. So for the research ethics, of course, informed consent will be obtained from all participants prior to the data collection. Confidentiality and protection of participants' data will be ensured as well. And ethical considerations will be addressed throughout the research process. So this is what I had from my side. So if anyone has any questions, everyone's welcome. Thank you very much.
Excellent job, Rhodas. Thank you. So I wanted to point out how I believe that you and Samia and I know also Dr. Awaad have mentioned, and probably as well as Mansoor. I was pleased to hear that you had considered the research ethics because for sure you would need to have permission to use that data. And also, I like that I believe Samia mentioned that she would keep her resources anonymity intact so that she would not reveal the names of those individuals. So that's very, very important. It protects them, it protects you, it protects the university as well. So good work. Okay, so I'll open it up to questions from others. Professor Awaad. Oh, go ahead, Samia. Good, Samia.
No, Professor, I think I was like a little bit late after the break. So my questions for my presentation, I think Rhodas or Mansoor couldn't come in. So maybe towards the end, we can take care of that.
Oh, yes. Okay. I'm sorry. That's right. Rhodas and Mansoor did not get to respond to Samia's presentation. So yeah, and thank you for reminding me about that. So let's go ahead and we'll stop sharing this one. Samia, go ahead and upload yours again. And then Mansoor and Rhodas, please.
No, sorry. Professor, I'm not trying to snatch the floor from her. I think we can
Oh, no,
focus
no.
her ones right now and have that Q&A for her, and then towards the end, I'm saying I'll share again mine.
Oh, okay. Well, we can do either way. Okay. All right. We'll continue on with Rhodas then. So go ahead and Dr. Awaad, what is some of your feedback and observations here?
Well, it's very well done. Thank you, Rudis. You included everything that we talked about. I hope that we did not miss anything. I just want to emphasize that you include a section on identifying key stakeholders, because you mentioned that honey is used for a specific wine, for example, and it's very popular. I don't know. Yeah, we will think, of course, of the producers. We will think of the other parties included in the exporting process, the association, of course, but it just came to my mind now when you were talking, to include justification why you consider these people or these entities part of your stakeholders. And some stakeholders, we call them phantom stakeholders. So maybe the wine producers might be a stakeholder because they will buy the majority of the honey production directly from the producers before any chance to be included or considered for exporting. Also, when you are doing your literature analysis or review, you might also consider including if you have governmental policies, if you have governmental documents related to this industry, because maybe the government itself is a major player on keeping the exports low, as you consider. So these are just my 2 points.
Okay. Thank you,
Thank you,
Dr. Awaad.
Professor. Yes, these are good points. I will definitely look at them in detail. Yes, thank you very much.
Very good. And I did notice Dr. Awaad hadn't talked about the literature review, and I noticed that I did not see that in there in the presentation. So, but I'm sure it will be in the actual proposal when you present that. So.
Yes, Professor, of course.
Okay.
That's what I meant when I complimented what Mansour did. So the percentages on the first page that you saw are from the literature reviews I did, but I will go further on those because yeah.
Okay, very good.
Yes.
Excellent. I did like how you talked about the semi-structured interviews. So why don't you share with your classmates a little more about this semi-structured interview and what that would look like, Rhodas?
Okay. So of course, as I've mentioned, this might change when we go further, when we find any new information. But for now, what I have is semi-structured are questions, partial questions that guide the interviewees to talk about the challenges, the opportunities, and any potential solutions that they have. So it's kind of a starting point questions. I don't know if I have clearly explained it. But Yeah.
Yes, Samya.
So Rhodas, one comment here. I think, what I'm understanding from your presentation and proposal that you are trying to identify the issue with the honey export, right? But are you also, as you just mentioned, because I didn't see that in your, maybe it's there, but I think within the title also it should be there, right? That you are also going to identify the not just the problem but the solution also. What is the potential solution for that issue, right? Because you're saying, okay, I'm identifying the factors influencing honey export. So I think that I don't know. I just felt that
Yes,
that
yes.
needs to, right? That was potential solution.
You're right. You're right. But what I was thinking was after the conclusion there would be a recommendation. So for that I'll mention ideas of my potential recommendation for, because as I've mentioned, this research will be used by different stakeholders. So there will be a policy. What do you call it? Policy makers or policy drafters, industry stakeholders, also researchers. So the recommendations I make are from my point of view, but
Right.
the main point, the main idea of this research is to identify the main factors that are influencing it so that anyone can use them as a starting point.
Right. And you are going to, just thinking, I am a honey lover and I know a lot
Yes,
about
me too.
honey, for sure. And because it could be like various reasons of them having those challenges when it comes to the export. So you will be focusing only on one specific area, like, for example, the quality standards of those honey, because when it comes to international export, there could be various crucial, issues or challenges that there is necessary certifications needed, or some organic or fair trade certifications needed. So you will be focusing on like only the quality standards or infrastructure or technology used in processing of those honey, or you will be like focusing all the areas and then the challenges and then solutions, or just any specific area.
So while I was doing the literature review, I was also seeing the quality approvals. But once we deep dive into the challenges that the exporters are having, we will identify areas from the demand and supply side. So there might be issues from the supply side. So I'll identify some from those, the major ones. So the 80-20 rule, and from the demand side as well. So we will focus on the areas where they demand 20% of our effort, but impact on can have impact on the 80% of the problem that we have. So that's what I'm thinking.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Samia.
Very
I'd
good.
like to just emphasize that there are so many types of research, and a very important type is exploratory research, when we explore a problem or an observation without even giving a solution. So in the recommendation, we can say we have identified these factors, so more research is required. Or we talked to the producers, so maybe we need to have a dedicated research. So this is a valid research topic, just to identify factors or challenges or something like this for further research by other researchers, or by the same researcher, maybe in another paper, or what we call it, a specific question from these factors for further research.
Hypothesis.
But overall, I like the structure. I like the questions. Also, I would like to add something about the semi-structured interviews. So we use structured interviews specifically if we don't have much information and we want a starting point, or the interviewer is not the main researcher. So we give the research assistants some questions, and they stick to the script and they stick to the specific questions. The semi-structured interviews, we start with some questions, but the researcher or the interviewer can come up or improvise more questions if they need more explanation, or the interviewee is talking about a new angle, for example, or a new theme that's emerging. So we can ask more questions, more probing questions. We can share also some of the observations that we observed, and we ask their input. So semi-structured interviews are very, very beneficial to give you some room to work this conversation. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Professor.
Oh, yeah, that's excellent. Very good. Any other questions for Rodas at this time? Marcia, did you have any questions? Okay. All right. I'm going to stop sharing, and Selmy, go ahead and put yours presentation back up, please.
Sure, Professor.
And we'll give Mansoor and Rodas a chance to ask some questions about yours.
Yes, for sure. Give me 1 second. For some reason today, I'm having some issues with my sharing, so should be good now. Give me 1 second.
That's fine. Oh yeah, as in Rodas, I wanted to mention that what I also discovered with my new computer is that I didn't load the Office suite, and I should have uploaded your presentation to the Windsor Teams, Windsor 365 account, so I can open it up in PowerPoint. I didn't do that, so that's why the format was different, because it actually was in Google, the Google Sheets.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody can see my slides, right? And
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, let me know if you want me to go to any specific slide and have any questions from there.
Okay, you can go ahead and advance to the next one. Okay, good. Right there is good.
I'm moving slowly.
Sure, that's good. You want to hold it right there. Let's keep it there. Mansoor, are you still with us? Did we lose you? I'm not sure.
Yes, Professor. I had a connection problem. I just wanted to ask a question from Rodas, but it's okay. Now we can move on. I just.
No, you can ask.
Yeah, you can still ask a question from Otis. Hold on here. It's just.
May I ask?
Yes,
Yeah.
you may. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, go ahead.
So, just another, just a quick question. I also believe that almost everything was covered by Rodas, and considering the questions and comments that were made. So from Rhoda's presentation, I learned that she wants to boost the honey export. But I think that she also mentioned that this honey is being used in making a type of beer, which a type of wine, which I believe are also being exported. So I believe that this wine being exported will also have some profit for the country. So don't you think that this indicates the effectiveness of using honey domestically? It's not always that all honey should be exported. Sometimes it can be used domestically.
So I believe there are also some issues with the bees being hived as well, because I'm doing a value chain analysis, so that will be guided, but the touch that is the wine like drink is not being exported currently. It's some of the honey is being sold domestically, but it is used for touch brewery. So in order, I know it's a very cultural. Touch is really good. Actually, you can search it online. It's very famous here. But I believe even maybe exporting the touch can also be beneficial, but we're not doing that as well. So that's the issue.
Okay.
Rhoda's get it
This would
exported.
be one of the
It's like, it feels like it's very exciting to hear that there is a wine made of honey. I'm saying
Yes.
that it should be exported, I think.
Yes, I believe so. But the packaging and maybe how it's processed, it's done traditionally. So there are no any factories that are doing this in the country. So yeah, maybe that's the reason. Maybe
my point here
Mhm.
for this wine, you don't need to go in depth in researching this area, because this could be a totally different research. But in your recommendation, you can add this, because the honey is one of the main ingredients of this and of another product. So you can have recommendation for further research in this area. So, and also because your value chain analysis can really, really inform your stakeholder analysis as well. Yeah.
Yes, Professor. Thank you very much.
Very good. Mansoor, do you have any other questions or comments?
No, thank you, Professor.
Okay. Yeah, everyone else is good? We'll move on to... Go ahead, Samia. Did you have another comment?
No, Professor. I was just saying that it's just few minutes left, so I'm just going ahead and sharing mine in case anybody has any questions. I know Rhodas and Mansoor wasn't able to comment on that because of the break.
Correct. Yes, so we're moving back to yours. Okay, so Mansoor and Rhodas, just go ahead and guide Samia to any of the slides or specifics of her research that you want to discuss and comment on.
Samia, I heard that you mentioned you'll have a problem with collecting data with the manager that you have. He or she will not be qualified to give you enough information. So how will you receive or collect information? Do you have access to a source that you can collect information regarding this research topic?
Yes, very good question, Mansoor. So yeah, because Agile, when it comes to Agile, there are so many people have misconceptions, and not even in IT industry, people are not educated enough and they can be confused with other agile, as Professor Awaad mentioned, it's a big umbrella, right? And when very specifically when it comes to IT software development, it could be confusing to many people. So yeah, I'm pretty confident on that majorly when I worked on projects, most of my leaders were not aware of agile, and I was the one who were really pushing forward to have any agile practices we can implement so that we are like more refined and really having benefit out of it. It's not that we're just calling ourselves agile and we're not following the. So my path forward is really I am a part of a community. So the why I'm using this scrum.org, it is an entire community and very first built. Professor Scraber and then others really built this community, and there are various case studies blocks which I'll be using, but I'm also part of the group within my LinkedIn and other platforms where I'm the part of agile like Scrum Masters and the people who did different agile certifications, because Scrum becoming a PSM professional Scrum Master is one, but there is others. And all these people like product owner also needs an agile certification. So I'm a part of that community in LinkedIn and other platforms. So I'll be using those platforms to discuss this with them as a problem and then a possible solutions. But it is a very well researched, and I have been researching this topic from last many years. As and when I join a project, I feel that they're missing those concepts and then proper process of agile. So I'll be bringing mine, and then the historic. When I say that historic interviews I have means that I already had those discussions with, for example, on a project there is a Scrum Master, and sorry, go ahead, Professor.
No, go ahead. You can finish.
Yeah, so I will be using that previous historic discussions with them that, I identified the problem areas on the project, and I had that discussion with those Scrum Masters or product owners and discussed how we can improve the process and how we can bring more agile ceremonies and be beneficial using Scrum. And I'll be using all that, data in here, and to be able to clarify the problem and the possible solutions.
Go ahead, Mansoor. I'll make my comments after you're done.
Okay, Samia, I got you. I have an answer. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mazu. It was a great question.
Yeah, that was an excellent question. One of the things that I wanted to kind of just bring to your attention, Samia, is that even if you have individuals who are not subject matter experts, because there's a misconception of, and this is what you're trying to show in your research, I think that it would strengthen your argument, since there's going to be these interviews would be anonymous anyway, and you wouldn't have to embarrass anyone by their response. But I think it would actually strengthen your argument by interviewing some of those individuals, and you can point out this is their perception, but it is not an accurate perception of really what Agile and Scrum is. And so that I think if you did include some of those interviews with those individuals that you consider not to be subject matter experts, but they are in positions that of authority and they're making decisions, I think that would actually strengthen your argument if you would include some of that. So
yes, Professor. Yes, I thought of really including, like, for example, will not name, like I have a PM, and she might not be very privy to agile approach, agile processes, but I will be interviewing her and taking her thoughts on, how she feels that if we go totally agile. And this is a discussion in all of 101s I have with her, but I'll have another one with her. We'll be discussing, because it's always beneficial to take the other side of thought, that what she feels, if we go more agile in our project, include more agile ceremonies and best practices, how we can improve. So I'll be noting that down and including that in my thesis for sure.
Very good. Yes.
For me, Samia, I really don't know. I actually know high level about agile method, so I'll be looking forward to what the outcome will be, because
Sure.
yeah, it sounds very interesting.
Sure, Rhodas. No,
Mm.
actually, even all the organizations, and as Professor Awaad was mentioning, agile, when it comes to, it's a very big umbrella. It's not just in software development. It's like various organizations using agile for their own, for improving their processes. And every, like in your honey example also, I mean, there could be a agile implementation for sure, that when they're producing agile, when they're producing honey, it could be an agile approach to give that honey to users to taste beforehand, before it's really properly processed or whatever. So agile is not just for IT development, it's like really implemented in all the organizations, but it changes as per the organization. It's like tailored according to the organization. So yeah, I'm looking forward to share more knowledge there. And yes, please bring your thoughts when you feel that something is not clear. Thank you.
Yes, will do, Samia. So, as you mentioned, I think you're right. Maybe we include it in my organization as well, but you don't mention the name. So,
Yeah.
I know how agile works, and some high level of how it gets implemented, and but they don't mention it as much. And in software
Right.
development, I think they mention it a lot and use it a lot.
Right.
Well.
Yeah. They're using
Yes.
it, but they don't mention, right, exactly, that we are agile, that we are having that iterative approach of product development and delivery. But yeah, various organizations are definitely agile. Agree with that. Thank you, Doris. Any other questions or comments? I'll stop sharing then.
No questions from me.
Thank you, Doris.
Right. Well, I think that you did an excellent job, Samia, Mansoor, and Rhodas. And I thought it was interesting how you each, your presentations were unique and a slightly different one from the other. It's very, very, very good. And I loved the comments and the feedback. So, this is not to, we're not criticizing you. We're critiquing, and we're helping you to develop your thesis and to improve on it. And also remember that eventually you'll have to present this before a review board, and so yeah, just keep that in mind, so that they'll be asking questions, and it'll be the same as we had here. There'll be some who will be very familiar with what you're doing, and some who won't really be familiar at all. And so as they're presenting, so they'll be go ahead, Samia.
No, just a silly question, Professor. Are we going to get grades for this effort? for building, for proposal and presentation?
No, we won't be grading it for today. no, this is just for your edification. So okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, just as the syllabus says, you're developing, and everything that we do from here on is just to assist you in your development of your thesis and the thesis proposals that will be presented. Okay. Well, good. I hope you're all taking notes. I know that Dr. Awaad and I are taking notes, and we'll be sharing with you, kind of reiterating some of the things that were shared here. Any other questions before we depart? This was just an excellent session. I wish we could do more. Really, very, very good interaction. So, any other questions? Any concerns going forward? Okay. And of course, you can go into Moodle. You can look at what the reading assignments are. Okay. If you have any questions there, please reach out to me and to Dr. Awaad. And if there's no other questions, then please enjoy the rest of your day and your weekend. Be safe out there, stay healthy and well, and we'll talk to you next week. Okay?
Sure, Professor. Thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of your weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Good job. Excellent. Well done, everyone. Bye-bye.